everybody, and welcome to this special on Jupiter going retrograde. Okay, so this year Jupiter goes retrograde on the 9th of October at 7:05 AM until when Jupiter goes direct at 10:41 AM on the 4th of February 2025, and it will stay there. Jupiter goes retrograde this year in Taurus, and it entered Taurus on the 1st of May, and then on the 14th of May 2025 Jupiter is going to enter Gemini. And remember, all my interpretation is based on constellational Vedic astrology, which is based on where that planets are actually when we look up into the sky, or use the Stellium app as I do. But yeah, so what does Jupiter represent in astrology? So Jupiter in astrology, it's known as the planet of expansion, growth, abundance, higher learning. Also can govern like foreign travel and experience as well. It also represents optimism, luck and wisdom. It rules Sagittarius, but also co-rules Pisces and the 12th house as well. It's exalted when it's in Cancer and in detriment when it's in Gemini, which is going to be next year. And it rules our liver and thighs and our hips in terms of our bodies as well. So it also, rules wealth, leisure time, big business, the higher mind, our height, our growth, our morality, prosperity and indulgence. As I said, our higher education, how we sort of reason with spiritual, philosophical, religious concepts, our goals, our vision, our idealism, our sports and, hunting, whether we like animals or not. Jupiter is known as the judge in astrology. It makes the laws that we can break if we want, and if we break them, we can get the adverse effect, but it can also help us if we keep the laws as well. And remember, astrology is all about free will. The stars impel us, which means that they can make us do things, but they don't compel, which means we can ignore astrology and use our free will. And Jupiter in astrology is known as the Great Turbanfific. It's beneficial energy and it promotes our health and growth, basically. So when it goes retrograde, it brings, opportunities for collective growth as well as personal growth as well. We may see, our collective human behaviour shift towards being more generous, inclusive and learning. Jupiter encourages us to think beyond ourselves and consider how our actions impact the greater community, so we can go within ourselves and just look back at our life the past year and see how we uplift others or how others put us down, how healthy our relationships are, what we need to do to expand our knowledge and understand the world around us. At the beginning of the year you may have made some resolutions, and now during this retrograde period, as the year is coming to a close, you may just feel I want to make some changes. So ultimately it encourages us to be the best that we can. So this year Jupiter goes retrograde when in Taurus in the 28th degree, which has the Sabian symbology of a middle-aged widow has begun dating again, having found her first date coarse and disrespectful. She appraises herself in the mirror in preparation for a date with someone new. So this is all about us reflecting on our past actions, as I said, this year or over the years, and just thinking about how we can become a new person, how we can become more authentic, how we can become more self-aware. So now I'm just going to dig deeper into the holistic positive and negative astrological meanings, as well as the practical implications, the worldly materialistic meanings, the political and spiritual esoteric meanings as well of Jupiter in retrograde. So holistically, as I said, it's a time for self-reflection, introspection and reassessment. It pushes us to review our beliefs, philosophies and long-term goals, our opinions, our world view, our beliefs about ourselves and the world. And by embracing, Jupiter in retrograde in Taurus energy, reflecting on our inner values, we can redefine how we approach our personal growth and abundance, sense of abundance. A lot of the time we can get to a certain age in life, or we can think, oh, I'm from this city or place, or people like me can never be rich or have money. But what I've come to see is, what's rich to one person is not rich to another. And I believe if we do things of, even if you start with 1% a month, and I know we're in, economic crisis, but even if you just put £1, save £1 each day if you can, that's 365 days over 10 years, that can be £3,000. And then if we increase it with £2 and £3, you can see life is all about compounding, just about your personal growth. It's about changing one habit at a time. A lot of the time we try to change too much, and this is why we get deflated. So Jupiter retrograde wants us to make slow and steady steps towards our best selves. It also gives a profound opportunity for spiritual growth as we, go within and reflect. It wants us to dig deep into our inner wisdom and cultivate, develop a connection with our higher self, our highest ideals, our dreams. Again, reconnecting with that inner child, because sometimes when we get older, we can be like, oh, I cannot do this. And no, we can't all be, astronauts. Some things we cannot do, but I do believe that if we, change some of these childhood dreams with adult sort of like outlook, we can achieve all we want to achieve in our lives if we're willing to work daily. Repetition and consistency is the mother of all skill, after all. So it can bring us, deep personal insights into how we can transform our life, how we can get more spiritual, philosophical, religiously enlightened. And remember that enlightenment is a journey. We are never totally enlightened. We are always enlightening. Also, by going within or just writing things down, which I'll talk a bit more about later, you can find the ways of how you can, bring the magic into your life, because what's rich to one person is not what rich is to another. Rich to you could be just having an hour a day to paint or game or sing or whatever it is you want to do, meditate, So, yeah. Negatively, it can make us stubborn and inflexible in our beliefs, and we can find challenges in adapting to new, opinions, perspectives and experiences and daily habits as well. And this can just lead to us being stagnated, and we can miss the opportunities for growth that this energy is offering us over the next 5 months, Practically, it pushes us to reassess our financial lives. It's a time to review investment, savings and our material resources such as our time, energy, things like books or, jewelry, shoes, clothing, other possessions and stuff like that. So the tagline of a middle-aged widow has begun dating again, having found her first date coarse and disrespectful. She appraises, reevaluates herself in the mirror in preparation for a date with someone new, paints a poignant picture of rediscovery and self-worth, finding our esteem and worth. And yeah, you may have had disastrous, toxic, chaotic relationships in your past and you may have given up. But as someone who's also had some disastrous relationships in my life, what I do now is you have to ask the right questions. A lot of the time we jump into these dating, and we have, rose tinted sort of like glasses on, and we think, life can never be good enough for me. Or that's what I was saying actually. We jump right in, we don't ask the right questions, and then we get disappointed. And I believe the first 3 months of dating anyone, the evidence of why you will eventually break up is there. So that doesn't mean you can't go on with that relationship, but what you want to do is know all these issues and have discussions and try and, make compromises with each other so you can, meet each other's needs. And if you can't do that, that's when you don't dive into the relationship. But a lot of the time, we dive into the relationship, we say, we've spent 3 months, then 6 months and a year, and then it gets to 10 years. I've put 10 years into this, even though it's crap, I don't want to try someone new. And then we just repeat the same loop, and then the men will go, or women are trash, the women will go, or men are trash, and people go, or people are trash. But that's not it. We're just not having the right conversation. So this energy wants us to go within and reevaluate our true needs from a worldly, materialistic perspective. It wants us to, as I said, sort of like review our financials, as I said. And on the worldly level, individuals and institutions may experience fluctuations in savings, investments and material resources. So it wants us to be cautious with our finances and our resources at this time, and pushes us to reevaluate our economical strategies, which can be, as I said earlier, we may think, I can never get this and that, but I believe we waste so much money sometimes, always eating out. And yeah, we can go out and treat ourselves, and if it's within your means, by all means, live that life. But for a lot of people it's not. So sometimes it's about maybe learning to cook your favourite dishes that you eat out in restaurants and stuff at home, and just looking at ways that you can increase your savings. In the realm of politics, it symbolises a period where political beliefs and structures are being reassessed. This calls for leaders and institutions to reflect on their values and redefine their priorities. It can bring more of a sort of like introspective shifts in political ideologies. People, governments, and leaders may become more cooperative and stable, but Taurus is a stubborn energy, so things could kick off on a big scale, as leaders could reflect and be like, oh wow, I don't actually like this country, so let's go and sort of like invade this country on the negatives. And we know there's a lot of wars and that going on already, but on the positive, leaders can go in and assess their inner values and and actually, because that's what Taurus rules, and they could have a change of mind. It's not all doom and gloom, but things can get very stubborn in the arena of politics and stuff and ideologies, as we know. People can stubbornly stick to them, but on the whole, it can allow us for firm changes in political, the way leaders govern and stuff like that. On the esoteric and spiritual level, it pushes us to dig deeper into our belief systems and spiritual practices, and invites us to reevaluate our connection to our higher selves, our higher consciousness, our higher power, God, Allah, whatever you call the divine being. It wants us to focus on spiritual growth, seeking inner wisdom and exploring new perspectives on existence and meaning. On the personal psychological level, you may find yourself reflecting on your values, beliefs and goals, and this self-reflection can lead to self-rediscovery as you assess your financial goals and spiritual goals, or religious goals, or exercise goals and spiritual practices. And as mentioned on the social level, it highlights the importance of stability and security within our social circle and community, and we can sort of like feel more drawn to nurturing deeper connections with loved ones, or contribution to collective projects that promote sustainability and abundance. But negatively, this can bring challenges related to us being stubborn and resistance to change in social dynamics, and on the personal level as well, because remember, Taurus energy, fixed earth energy, can be really, really stubborn. In terms of the symbolic creative meanings, it encourages us to tap into our creative potential by finding innovative ways to express our ideas and beliefs. It can inspire us to create art, music or writings that are deeply meaningful and reflective of your values, or you can just want to read things and listen to music that reflect your values and stuff. It can also, make us more wanting to connect with the earth. Food as well. Remember, Taurus is a very sensual, earthy nature, so you may want to make love more, be more tactile, be more loving yourself more. Sometimes we think, especially if you are single, which I'll talk about later on, we can forget to do nice things for ourselves, you know. So this energy symbolically wants us to be more central in the way we take in information and approach life. On the negative side, our tendency towards being inflexible in our creative projects and expression can get in the way of our ability to adapt and evolve creatively. So, you know, allow yourself to explore different ways of expressing yourself creatively. On the emotional level, it can make us want more stability and commitment as we connect with our inner desires, and we can just find, you know, joy in simple pleasures, and it pushes us to address any emotional insecurities or attachments that are holding you back from personal growth. But negatively, we can become complacent or have a resistance to change, and this can lead to missed opportunities for emotional expression and fulfillment. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the aspects that Jupiter's making when it enters retrograde this year, and how they positively and negatively affect Jupiter retrograde in Taurus. So yeah, the first aspect is Jupiter makes a sextile to Trine, which is known as the wounded healer in astrology. So this supports us to grow and heal over the 5 months Jupiter's in retrograde. It can allow us to address deep-seated emotional, spiritual and psychological trauma and wounds, and also any issues we have to, you know, change in our lives and accept an abundance in our lives, because a lot of the time we can push away our own good. As someone that used to do that, you know, and still sometimes struggle, because remember, growth is a progress. Sometimes the best we can do is be aware of our wounds, you know, and you know, deal with them when they come. This is why self-awareness is really important, sort of like watching yourself while you're doing yourself, you know. So yeah, so some of you may find yourself more open to exploring alternative healing techniques and modalities at this time that support your spiritual and personal growth. So meditation, going to therapy, Tai Chi, yoga and stuff like that. The Sun also makes a trine with Jupiter, and this is applying at a 4.51 orb, so this is a strong energy. And Jupiter's sextile Trine is 0.07, so this is really strong. This is the strongest aspect of this period, the Jupiter sextile Trine. Anyway, the Sun's trying to Trine allows us to be more confident, feel more energetic and vital, you know, and just have more optimism. While Jupiter's in Taurus in retrograde, so some of you may have an increase in your self-belief, confidence and esteem, and be willing to tap into your inner strength to overcome challenges or go out after new opportunities with enthusiasm. So yeah, Mercury also makes a trine to Jupiter, and this is at a separating orb of 1.17, so it's not as strong as the other two aspects I mentioned, but it allows us to be more clearer in our communication and intellectual expansion. It enables us to express our ideas effectively and leverage our mental sort of like prowess, and it supports us in making informed decisions, expanding our knowledge base and seeking opportunities for growth through learning and communication. Venus also makes a quincunx to Jupiter, so this can bring some tension or imbalance between, you know, the Venusian themes of love, beauty and harmony, and Jupiter's need to expand and grow and to tap into our higher mind and values and consciousness. So this allows us to reassess our values and our relationships, and it wants us to find a balance between being indulgent and growing. So what I was saying earlier about, you know, spending money and saving it, Jupiter also makes a trine with the ascendant at 0.21 separating orb, so this allows us to increase our confidence, charisma and ability to attract positive opportunities. We may feel more open to exploring new horizons, meeting new people and embracing changes that align with your long-term goals. It reminds us to trust in the universe's guidance and believe in our ability to manifest abundance and prosperity at this time. So a lot of energy supporting the needs of Jupiter retrograde, which is to grow and expand and to change our toxic habits. Also, at the time of Jupiter going retrograde this year, there's a stellium that involves the Sun, Virgo, and Mercury in Virgo, and also the ascendant in Libra, and this is within the 12% orb. And there's a T-square which involves Trine in Pisces, Mars in Gemini, and the Sun in Virgo, so a nice mutable T-square there. And also Mercury in Taurus, which brings the fixed energy actually, so not all mutable, but yeah, and this is within a 19% orb as well. So the stellium creates a powerful focus on the details, communication and relationships. Virgo's analytical and practical nature blends harmoniously with Libra's emphasis on balance and diplomacy. It pushes us to pay attention to how we communicate our ideas while also maintaining harmony in our interactions, conversations with others. So it just wants us to make sure we respect other people's boundaries while asserting our own boundaries and needs. And the T-square between Trine, Mars, the Sun and Mercury allows us to be grounded as well. It wants us to be more precise in how we communicate and supports us in paying attention to detail and finding balance within ourselves and within our relationships with others. It encourages us and supports us in being more mindful and gaining more clarity and ensuring that our ideas are effectively, conveyed. We get our points across to others and we're more receptive to listening to them. So it's important to practice actively listening space where we allow other people to give their point of view, we give ours and try to compromise in the middle. But negatively, this T-square can make us feel unstable because it pushes us to heal, to take action, to analyse and to find stability. And as I said, a lot of us like to stay in our comfort zone as well. But this combination challenges us to address any wounds or vulnerabilities, which is represented by Trine in Pisces, and pushes us to take decisive steps towards our goals, which is represented by Mars in Gemini. Also pushes us to pay attention to details and practical matters, which is represented by the Sun in Virgo, and wants us to communicate with more practicality and determination, which is represented by Mercury in Taurus. This T-square and this stellium really pushes us to examine how we express ourselves and interact with others, and pushes us to seek balance and alignment in our actions and words by doing that, shadow work, inner work, going deep within ourselves and gaining clarity. And by embracing the energies of, being precise, healing in action and stability, we can transform our communication style and our relationship dynamics as well. And it just reminds us that effective communication is not just about getting your point across. It's also about creating understanding and building honest and authentic connections and relationships with people around you. Also, at the time of Jupiter going retrograde, there's a grand air trine that involves Venus in Libra, Saturn in Aquarius, which is also in retrograde, and Mars in Gemini as well, which also has a 14% orb. So positively, this can increase our communication, intellectual expression, and it can also helps us to make decisions. Also, Venus in Libra allows us to be more diplomatic and add charm in our relationships, and it can make it easier for us to express ourselves more tactfully. Saturn in Aquarius allows us to bring structure, order and discipline to our thoughts, and we can approach tasks with more of a methodical sort of mindset. Mars in Gemini provides mental stimulation and assertiveness, allowing us for quick thinking and allowing us to be more effective in our problem solving. It can boost our ability to articulate our ideas clearly and persuasively, and this can lead to successful negotiations and presentations. So negatively, this grand air trine bring some challenges. Venus in Libra can make us indecisive and people pleasing, and this can, make it hard for us to make firm decisions and assert our opinions strongly. Saturn in Aquarius can lead to self-doubt and a fear of change, and remember, Jupiter retrograde wants us to change, especially how we, look at things, how we treat ourselves, how we think about, being optimistic, and how we think about, embracing higher knowledge into our lives and, getting outside of our comfort zones. It wants us to be flexible and innovative. And Mars in Gemini adds to us being impulsive. We can be scattered in our energy, and it causes us to be mentally restless and lacking focus as well. So it's important to, be consciously aware of these negatives and do your best to stay grounded, to gain clarity in your relationship with yourself and others, and to try and communicate honestly and openly, and to make the decisions you need to at this time as well. So now I'm just going to talk deeper about the 28th degree of Taurus, which is the degree that Jupiter's in when it goes retrograde this year. And the tagline is, as I said, a middle-aged widow has begun dating again, having found her first date coarse and disrespectful. She appraises herself in the mirror in preparation for a date with someone new. And the 28th degree of Taurus also rules the deltoid muscle and main neck muscles in our bodies as well. So this symbol wants us to start new and seek new experiences after a period of loss or solitude. Positively encourages us to reflect on past experiences, learn from them, and approach our growth and expansion with wisdom and resilience. It pushes us to reevaluate our beliefs and values regarding abundance, self-worth, and personal development during Jupiter's retrograde phase. But negatively, this degree, this energy throughout the 5 months can bring about feelings of insecurity and hesitation when it comes to embracing new opportunities for growth and exploration. It can, indicate that we may fear taking risks and stepping out of our comfort zone, as many of us do, and this can get in the way of our ability to benefit from Jupiter's retrograde in Taurus fully, So going back to, the Sabian symbol, we may find ourselves reassessing our approach to dating or expansion and self-reflection, self-love, self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others, self-management at this time. The best use of this energy is to fine-tune your strategies and mindset. So looking after your psychological, emotional and spiritual health is really important, and make sure your daily actions and thoughts align with your true values and goals. Just like the widow in the symbol, take the opportunity to look within, understand what serves you best, and make conscious choices that support your growth and well-being. And just remember, some of these choices may be scary. Some of you may think, oh my gosh, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, and it can be scary to make those changes, so we just have to remember that every experience, whether positive or negative, can offer valuable lessons for personal evolution. And sometimes, leaving a relationship or career or friendship group doesn't mean that you hate the individual. It just means you want to try something new, and it just reminds us to trust in our ability to navigate our lives and, this energy with grace and confidence. And if you are lacking, thinking of the ways you can build your self-esteem, love and forgiveness and acceptance and awareness as well. Physically, as I said, it's associated with the deltoid muscle and main neck muscles. So it wants us to, look after our neck and shoulder health, so practicing proper posture, search online on how to do that, and gentle stretching exercises to prevent, strain and discomfort. Emotionally, It wants us to, be more vulnerable and be more excited, although it can bring feelings of, apprehension and fear. It wants us to take that first start after, facing loss or disappointment, as many of us do in life. It pushes us to open up to new experiences and connections, and it wants us to, again, focus on healing those past wounds, our emotional, psychological and spiritual growth, and having the courage even to pursue romantic or interpersonal relationships with a renewed perspective. Spiritually, the image of, the new date carries themes of introspection, self-awareness and personal transformation. It encourages us to, examine our inner selves, our beliefs and desires, and align with a more spiritual, higher consciousness outlook, whatever that means for you. For some of you, it's religion. For some of you, it's, different spiritual techniques and practices. It wants us to embrace being vulnerable and being open to self-growth. And just like the widow gazes at herself in the mirror, she not only sees her physical reflection, but also, digs into her emotional and spiritual depths, preparing herself to welcome new love with a renewed sense of self-worth and resilience. So just as the Sabian symbol, suggests a turning point in, the lady in the imagery's journey towards love and connection, it reminds us all that every experience, even unpleasant ones, can shape our path towards a more profound understanding of ourselves and others. Socially, it emphasises the importance of self-reflection and growth before starting new connections, because like I said, a lot of the time we can jump from one relationship to another. So many of us do that. I've been single for a long while, I'm not going to say how long, but I have, embarked on dating other people, but because I've trained myself to look out for red flags, and yes, I've questioned myself, am I too red flag, aware now, but it's not that. It's because, a lot of the people in the dating pool sometimes can just jump from one relationship to another, or be looking for things that can only be found within oneself and other people. Yes, we can have power couples, and yes, we can be a more quiet person, and our partner can be more outspoken and confident and stuff like that, but we must always be, growing internally on ourselves by getting to know ourselves on the emotional, psychological and spiritual level as well. And this symbol reminds us to take care of ourselves on all levels. Esoterically and occultly, it wants us to heal past wounds so we can attract more and fulfilling relationships, and it just reminds us to, sort of like reevaluate our values and beliefs, especially when it comes to how we give and receive love in our lives as well. It wants us to release old patterns that no longer serve our highest good, and do a deep self-assessment and embrace new beginnings in relationships if you are at that point to do so. It also wants us to grow and become more self-empowered through self-love, awareness, increasing your self-worth, and make room in your life for more authentic and harmonious relationships in the future, by starting with creating an authentic relationship that we should all be having with our own individual selves, throughout our lives. I found a lot of us want to know other people without getting to know ourselves. So now I'm just going to talk about the karmic meanings and lessons, and what past life memories, dreams and visions may come up when Jupiter goes retrograde. So it can bring karmic lessons regarding our attachment to a material wealth and how it influences our sense of security and happiness. And we may find ourselves having past life memories of relationships that are related to loss and rebuilding our life after hardships, or we may think of relationships that brought us loss, or where we had to rebuild from in our present lives. It also wants us to, really think about, solitude. Do you get too much solitude? Do you not get enough? Spending time with yourself is important. And yeah, some of us like to be alone, and some of us are more introverted, or ambiverted, can choose to be a bit extroverted or introverted at times. We just really want you to look at, maybe if you do spend a lot of time in solitude, ways you can let other people into your life if you want to, or if you don't spend time in solitude and you socialise too much, how you can bring more solitude into your life as well. It wants us to be ready to open up to new experiences. But before we do that, to heal ourselves, it's important to pay attention to our dreams or visions that can come up as well, as they can provide valuable messages from your subconscious around issues of trust, intimacy and vulnerability. And we may also receive intuitive insights into how our past life experiences have shaped our current attitudes towards love and partnership. So overall, Jupiter retrograde in Taurus encourages us to dig deep into our inner world and confront any fears or insecurities that may be holding us back from embracing new beginnings in the realms of our relationships and self-worth as well, and love. It wants us to reflect on what truly matters to you and how you can develop a sense of worthiness and self-confidence and esteem and love and security that is independent of external circumstances. So building an inner core within. This is what retrograde is all about. The planet's energies turn inward, and it just reminds us to trust in the wisdom of the universe to guide you towards greater emotional, spiritual and psychological fulfillment, happiness and understanding as well. So now I'm going to talk about how Jupiter retrograde positively and negatively influences our family relationships, friendships, co-worker and committed couples, hookups and single and self-partnered relationships as well. So in terms of our family dynamics, we can just be sort of like thinking about changes that we may want to make in them as well. Encourages us to revisit past experiences and unresolved issues within the family unit, which can be difficult, as you know. But doing this can lead to greater empathy and understanding among family members. And because Jupiter, controls growth and expansion, it can, create healing conversations that strengthen bonds. Family members may find themselves more willing to listen to one another's perspectives, creating a sense of connection and relatedness that may have been overlooked due to the hustle and bustle of daily life, or our sort of like recipients to look into sort of like the past as well, confronting it head on. But Jupiter retrograde can inspire us to reassess our values and priorities, and we can just feel more renewed appreciation for our loved ones, and leading to more intentional communication and quality time spent together. And old patterns can be evaluated and new insights can come about, and we can just be more collaborative in our family unit. But negatively, it can cause tension because people can refuse to listen to each other and hear each other out. And because Jupiter expands everything, a small argument can lead into a big argument and can cause risks at the negative end. So it's important to try and handle this energy carefully. My advice is not to run from confronting what needs to be confronted, but also to try and make peace as well, but also be respectful of that some people may not want to deal with the issues you may want to talk about at this time. And a lot of the time in life, it's in our ideal world, of course, we can find closure, and our parents can love us in the way that we want them to, and some of us have parents like that, some of our family like that, but a lot of us don't. So a lot of the time we have to find that closure within by nurturing that inner child, listening to that inner child, giving it what it wants. Sometimes it would be great if our parents could give us the love and stuff that we missed as a child, but sometimes we have to just give ourselves the things we feel that we were lacking in our relationships with others, our parents or family members and stuff. So ultimately it wants us to navigate our family relationships with greater understanding and compassion, but also respect that sometimes other people may not want to go back into the past as well. In terms of friendships, misunderstandings can happen due to miscommunication and people having different expectations. But it encourages us to reflect on our friendships, which can lead to people questioning the foundations of certain friendships, and some friends may feel themselves neglected or unappreciated, pushing conversations that that potentially can be uncomfortable. But although these conversations can, be, uncomfortable, it can lead to us having a deeper understanding in our friendships, which can be good as we, try and understand each other's needs in our friendship as well. And it highlights the importance of honesty and authenticity, and encouraging friends, to address any lingering grievances from the past, because a lot of the time, we, as I said, brush things under the carpet, so while we may feel overwhelmed by, oh gosh, not the past again, not this again, sometimes, some people need to rediscuss the past, even if you think, oh, we've been here before. Sometimes, you may not have gone into the depths of what caused the problems, and the problems can still be present in the relationship. And I'm a great supporter of, if we don't deal with our problems will deal with us. So it just presents an opportunity for growth in the friendship by open and honest conversation, allowing us to be more vulnerable, and we can emerge with a renewed strength and resilience in our friendship, and more mutual respect and trust in them. In terms of co-worker relationships, we can want to sort of work and give each other mutual support. It pushes us to reassess our professional relationships and want us to take a more thoughtful and intentional approach to teamwork, and wants us to navigate our responsibilities with an increased sort of awareness, and to communicate authentically, and this can help bridge gaps and create more sense of unity. By openly sharing challenges and experiences, co-workers can develop a supportive environment that not only aids individual professional development, but strengthens interpersonal bonds and team development as well. It encourages us to be more creative in our problem solving and brainstorming sessions as well, and this can lead to us being more innovative and being more open to different opinions and perspectives than ours, and we can overcome obstacles that can lead to us using different team members' strengths, instead of just looking at the weaknesses, looking at, hey, what can this person do right, and nurturing this in them, and this can increase team productivity and have a more sort of togetherness in the workplace as well. And we can just build more resilience in our teamwork and just have more harmony in the workplace, and this is good overall for team spirit and stuff as well. In terms of committed relationships, couples can sort of reassess their shared values and long-term goals in the relationships. It creates an opportunity for partners to engage in deeper conversations about their goals, financial priorities and personal beliefs. Couples may find themselves reevaluating what truly matters to them, and this can lead to a realignment of their paths together on the positive, although some of you may decide to part ways because you have different values or you want to try new things. But positively, this introspective journey that you start together or continue together can increase understanding and empathy, enabling you to address any discrepancies in your connection that have emerged over time. And it sort of just highlights the importance of stability and security in relationships. So some of you may feel compelled, pushed to reassess your living situations, family dynamics and financial plans, which can create a deeper sense of commitment and unity. But as I said, there can be tension if partners discover that their values are not aligned as once thought, and this can lead to separation. But open communication and willingness to compromise can lead to strengthening the bond and resolving underlying issues. So work through it is the key word, and be open to solutions, but be open to letting go as well, because sometimes that's the best thing you can do in connections. In terms of hookup relationships, there can be increased levels of confusion and miscommunication as well, because this energy pushes us to self-reflect and reevaluate. This can lead to us questioning intentions and expectations in hookups as well. People may reflect on what they truly desire and need and want from hookup relationships. Misunderstandings can come up, particularly if one person seeks something deeper while the other remains focused on the casual nature of the arrangement, and this can cause dissonance, disagreement, which can result in emotional, psychological, spiritual turmoil or a sense of disconnection, complicating what might have been otherwise being a light-hearted connection. And because Jupiter's energy encourages exploration of personal values and desires, this can clash with the inherent ambiguity of hookup dynamics and stuff like that. Participants may find themselves grappling with feelings of insecurity or jealousy as they reassess their emotional investments and the boundaries of their encounters. So this period of uncertainty can push open discussions, but if not approached with clarity and honesty, it may lead to further complications. Therefore, those in hookup relationships need to communicate openly and honestly as you navigate misunderstandings and create a clearer understanding of each other's needs. Okay, so if you're single, you may find yourself pushed to, self-reflect. It's a good time to explore your genuine desires and goals in relationships rather than rushing into new romantic encounters. You may find yourself pausing to consider what you truly seek in a partner, what you bring to the table, what you want someone else to bring to the table. This can give you a clearer understanding of your personal values, allowing you to tell the difference between, fleeting attractions and meaningful connections. And as you dig into your introspective waters, you can uncover previously unacknowledged needs of yours, and this can lead to increased self-awareness and a more grounded approach to future dating plans. And Jupiter's energy supports the process of letting go of any unrealistic expectations that you may have held previously about love and relationships, which is really good because a lot of us have, dodgy, toxic beliefs about relationships. Yeah, another person can make us whole, but I believe having, gone through the process, finding wholeness within yourself and then sharing your wholeness into whole people, sharing a relationship can make more healthier relationships. But don't get me wrong, you can totally, two halves can become whole as long as that connection is healthy as well. But a lot of the time we can wait for other people to rescue us, and what we need to do really is rescue ourselves in the meantime, at least while we wait for our other half anyway, so we can gain insights into patterns from our past experiences by reflecting on them, and this can help us redefine what we want moving forward in our future relationships as well. And this newfound clarity not only increases your personal growth, but also can prepare you for having more healthier and more fulfilling romantic interactions with others if you just take the time to nurture yourself, understand yourself, write a list maybe of pros and cons, what you're willing to accept from your next partner, what you're not willing to accept. Because I do this because sometimes you can get swept away, especially if you're the romantic type, when you meet someone, so having the pros and cons before you meet someone and looking at it, especially in those first 3 months, because it's the first 3 months is when we sort of get blinded and we, the honeymoon period. But at this time, I'm a great, my way is to, be aware. This is the time when first meeting someone when you need to be aware rather than jumping right in, Doing this can just allow us to create a more balanced approach to our future relationships as we balance our internal desires with our external routine and stuff as well at this time as well. So yeah, date if you're ready to date, but also be aware of what it is you truly want, and make sure you take some time to write this down or voice note it down or voice record it down actually, and do whatever you need to do to get to the bottom of what you really want from your next relationship. In terms of self-partnered individuals, individuals, this is a good time to focus on your self-love, forgiveness, awareness and personal growth, without the distractions that are often in external relationships. You can dig deeper into your inner world and explore your thoughts, emotions and personal growth. It allows for us to focus on our life priorities and, gain a reassessment of ourselves, enabling us to strengthen our sense of self and develop a more authentic existence. And because Jupiter's influence brings a deeper sense of optimism, it can encourage us to embrace our individuality and pursue passions that resonate deeply with you. So this is a time to, go over old projects that you started, or, think about, I'm going to give this project up, I want to start a new one, get creative, paint, dance, sing, chant, meditate, jump around, do what makes you happy, Also, look into your self-limiting beliefs that hold you back, especially those around your sense of self-worth and esteem and what you can really achieve. And as long as you're willing to learn these skills or continue learning skills, I believe we can all achieve what we want, within reason, of course, but not too much reason. Sometimes we just need to let our artist's creativity lead the way. Maybe if you're not already in the artist's way, maybe getting that book and looking into it could resonate and help you. And by engaging in, as I said, mindfulness, journaling or creative expression, you can use the energy of Jupiter retrograde to nurture your personal understanding, growth, love and respect, and this can set the stage for a more fulfilling connection with yourself and ultimate within future relationships, So now I'm going to talk about how Jupiter retrograde positively and negatively influences our career, personal, spiritual and educational development in more focus. So in terms of our career development, it can because it wants us to reassess and reflect, it can lead to delays and obstacles in our career advancement, and it can give us the opportunity to review our goals and strategies. Some of you may reconsider your long-term professional goals or explore new avenues for growth within your current job or industry. But negatively, it can lead to stagnation and frustration because of the delays and obstacles I mentioned earlier. But it offers the chance to reevaluate your career path and make the necessary adjustments you need to make for long-term success. And you may find hidden talents or interests that can push you towards new and exciting opportunities. And by taking time to review your strategies and goals, you can move forward in your career development. So on the personal level, you may feel more grounded and content in your personal life and your relationships and just environment at this time. But because we can resist change and be overly cautious in taking risks, this can get in the way of the personal growth that Jupiter retrograde really wants us to do. So we just have to, take those small, tiny steps for some of you, or giant leaps for others, into taking those daily steps to change your life. And this is what this energy really wants you to do, to look at your psychological, emotional and spiritual wounds and do all that you can do to change your life and just embrace the change. In terms of spiritual development, it wants us to focus on our inner exploration. So it's a good time to dig deep into your beliefs, practices and connection to the divine, whatever that is to you. It can make you feel more drawn to meditation, yoga, tai chi and other spiritual activities that nourish your soul and expand your consciousness. Yet negatively, you can become too inflexible or closed-minded in your beliefs, and this can lead to missing good opportunities for spiritual expansion. In terms of educational development, it wants us to, have more focus and dedication to our studies, whatever that is. For some of you, it will be in terms of university and school or whatever. For others, it's in terms of your own self-learning, whether it's personal development or spiritual development or professional development. It can allow us to have breakthroughs in our learning and academic achievements. Some of you may find yourself more motivated to do well in the pursuit of your higher levels of education, or philosophical reasoning, religious or spiritual exploration, and you can do really well in courses or whatever you put your mind to right now. But it can also bring challenges such as feeling overwhelmed by the academic pressures or experiencing delays in your educational projects. So it's important to maintain a balanced approach and stay open to new opportunities for growth in terms of your educational development at this time. So now I'm going to talk about the best activities for creatives, professionals, entrepreneurs, alternative healers, lovers and singles, and self-partnered people to do when Jupiter is transiting in retrograde. So creatives, this is a great opportunity to explore new creative techniques and mediums. So if you normally paint, maybe working with clay. If you normally use your hands to draw, maybe using your computer, things like that. Experimenting with mixed media art, attending workshops, reading books, watching online videos, listening to podcasts, looking into innovative creative processes, or working with other artists or creatives, content creators can help spark fresh inspiration. Professionals should focus on building new skills or continue building skills and further education, taking online courses to increase your expertise, attending networking events or broadening your professional connections, or seeking mentorship from esteemed professionals can pave the way for personal and career growth. Entrepreneurs should use this time to review their business strategies, explore new markets, or sort of revamp, recreate their brand image, refine it, change it, improve it. You can also conduct market research, update business plans, or invest in innovative technology that can put you in a good position for future success. So just doing things, going back to the drawing board for some of you. Maybe you've been working on a project or venture for years and it's been stagnant, so maybe you can just look into it to sort of new ways you can do old projects to improve them and refresh them, rebrand them. So alternative healers may find value in deepening their knowledge or researching new healing techniques, exploring them, attending specialised training programs, conducting self-care rituals to recharge your energy. So you can offer good service to your clients, or you can offer discounted services to reach a wider audience, and this can enrich your practice and increase your finances at this time. Lovers can benefit from deepening their emotional connection through meaningful conversations and shared experiences. Maybe engaging in couples therapy or anything else. Relationship workshops can help you strengthen bonds and address underlying issues. Singles can find it beneficial to focus on self-love and personal growth, practicing mindfulness, exploring new or old hobbies or interests, and engaging in solo travel can create self-discovery and build strong foundations for future relationships. And by prioritising your self-care and setting boundaries, you can really, reap the benefits of this period. Self-partnered individuals should focus on, self-care rituals and exploring new ways to nurture your inner well-being, journaling, mindfulness, self-exploration, maybe seeking some therapy, researching new personal development techniques as well. And just remember to treat yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate this period of re-evaluation and transformation. So now I'm going to summarise the overall positive and negative meanings plus the best use of Jupiter retrograde. So in terms of our finances, positively, It wants us to, deeply reflect on what truly matters to you in terms of your material wealth and self-worth. Some of you might discover that certain purchases or investments that once seemed important to you no longer resonate with your core values, and this realization can lead to more intentional spending habits, and you can find yourself prioritizing experiences or items that genuinely increase your life rather than merely fulfilling societal expectations. Conversely, this retrograde phase can bring challenges such as unexpected expenses or financial setbacks that require you to rethink your budget or savings plans. You may need to confront any tendencies towards excessive impulsivity when it comes to money. However, if you approach these challenges with an open mind, they can serve as a valuable lesson which can guide you towards a more sustainable and fulfilling financial outlook that supports your life rather than wreck your life as well. And just find yourself sort of like creating new financial practices that align with your true values. This can lead to a more grounded sense of security and prosperity and sense of self. In terms of personal growth, it wants you to identify patterns or habits that may get in the way of your progress. Some of you may become aware of how certain relationships or commitments weigh you down, and this can push you to make necessary changes. It encourages you to establish boundaries and prioritize your well-being, and this can lead to healthier relationship dynamics. On the negative side, self-doubt and misaligned goals can sort of like get in the way of your positive need for change. But instead of viewing self-doubt, fear and stuff as obstacles, recognise them as opportunities to refine your goals and align them with your authentic self, and to look at where these doubts first originated from. And fears, sometimes it's fears of parents or earlier relationships or even from past lives putting us where they can be irrational. Look at strategies on how you can sort of like work with your self-doubts and instead of seeing them as weaknesses, turn them into strengths. And by addressing difficulties head on, you can gain clarity and motivation and build more resilience, and this energy can empower you to emerge from this retrograde with more of a clearer vision and renewed strength, and just a more focused mindset that pushes you to pursue your goals, with more determination. So yeah, as I said, this time is best used to sort of like reflect on your long-term goals and desires. You may find yourself questioning whether your current path aligns with your true values and goals. For example, if you've been pursuing a career out of obligation and expectation of parents or society rather than your own authentic passion, this period may push you to explore alternatives that resonate more authentically with your identity. And by engaging in this reflective process, you can uncover hidden ambitions or passions that you may have set aside, and doing this can give you more clarity, and you can redirect your energy and focus towards what truly serves and fulfill you. Moreover, Jupiter retrograde can lead to valuable insights about the steps you need to take to achieve your new goals as well. And by analysing past experiences, looking at what has worked and what hasn't worked, you can develop a more strategic approach moving forward. And this may involve setting smaller, achievable milestones. So maybe having a daily planner where you list and tick off, that list, and don't beat yourself up, because sometimes I have noticed this. We think we can do more in a day than what we actually can, or we may just focus purely on our goals and neglect the needs of our body and our inner and shadow work, and this can lead to an imbalance. And we should be, working to look after our mind, body and soul daily, whether it's taking 10 minutes to meditate, 10 minutes to exercise, and the rest for work. We shouldn't just do all work and no play. We need to find a balance. And, ultimately, the act of reassessing your desires not only creates personal growth, but can also transform your outlook, empowering you to pursue a life that feels more in line with who you truly are. And that's what life is all about, because we all are, unique beings, and we should all express ourselves uniquely. So now I'm just going to finish up by talking about, the questions we can ask ourselves during this time, and, what shadow work and inner work practices we can do. So first, the questions that we can ask ourselves at this time regarding our financial, emotional, spiritual, psychological and physical needs. So starting with the financial, you can ask yourself questions such as, am I satisfied with my current financial situation? Are my spending habits aligned with my financial goals? How can I improve my financial stability for the future? In terms of emotional questions, you can ask, do I have healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with stress and emotions and psychological and spiritual trauma? Am I nurturing positive relationships in my life? Also, you can ask yourself, in what ways can you improve emotional resilience and your overall well-being? On the spiritual level, you can ask yourself, are you satisfied with your spiritual connection or practice? You can also ask yourself, do my spiritual beliefs align with my values and goals? Also, how can I deepen my spiritual connection? Psychologically, you can ask yourself, am I prioritizing self-care and mental well-being? Are there unresolved issues or traumas that need attention? What practices can I implement, do to increase my psychological health? On the physical level, you can ask yourself, does my current lifestyle support my physical health? Are there areas of my physical well-being that require more focus? So what foods do I need to eat more of or less of? What exercises do I need to do more or less of to be more in balance? How can I establish better habits to improve my overall physical wellness, such as meditating, getting enough sleep? So now I'm going to talk about the shadow work, visualization, meditations, and other spiritual higher conscious development that you can do when Jupiter is retrograde. So shadow work involves digging into your subconscious to uncover and heal hidden wounds or unresolved issues. Exploring the darker aspects of your psyche to address and release any lingering negative emotions or past traumas. And by shining the light on these hidden parts of yourself, you can heal and grow in profound ways. So shadow work can be a really self-illuminating process because it allows you to confront fears, insecurities and unresolved issues that influence your present behaviour and, hold you back from being the best you want to be. So by engaging in shadow work during Jupiter retrograde, you can break free from patterns that no longer serve you. So this can be behaviour patterns, thought patterns, ways of relating to yourself and others. And by doing this shadow work, it can create a healthier relationship with yourself and others as well. Also, incorporating visualization and meditation techniques into your shadow work can increase your transformation journey, and visualizing scenarios that trigger discomfort or exploring your inner landscape during meditation can facilitate a deeper understanding of your shadow aspects. And as you progress, you can consider journaling your insights and feelings, as this practice can help clarify your thoughts and emotions. And by embracing a comprehensive approach to Jupiter retrograde, this promotes personal growth, but also aligns you with a more authentic version of yourself, ultimately leading toward a more fulfilling path. So in terms of visualization, visualization techniques can serve as a powerful sort of like tool in your journey towards deeper self-awareness and insight that can help you manifest your desires by creating a detailed mental image of your goals, and by vividly imagining specific scenarios or emotions, you can create a mental space where you can safely explore the layers of your subconscious, and this allows you to confront and reframe your perceptions, making it easier for you to identify the roots of your fears or limiting beliefs. So for example, you may visualize a past event that still causes you pain, imagining yourself responding with compassion and understanding rather than fear can lead to a shift in yourself and realizations that can lead to healing. And integrating guided meditations that focus on visualization can deepen your experience with visualization techniques, as these meditative practices often involve imagery that encourages you to connect with your inner self and envision your ideal state of being. And as you allow yourself to immerse in these visualizations, you may uncover hidden truths about your desires, motivations, and the obstacles you face. And this deeper exploration not only supports your understanding of your shadow aspects, but also empowers you to navigate your path, your life journey, with more clarity and confidence. But remember, visualization techniques or meditation techniques or shadow work techniques alone won't help you. You need to, look at a holistic way by looking after yourself in the physical, financial, psychological, and emotional, spiritual levels. But all of these techniques form part of that, holistic healing. So, visualization is really important in your self-healing journey. Also, you can do meditations that focus on grounding and connecting with your inner stability and security. And meditation serves as a powerful way to increase your self-awareness and provides a channel for introspection and clarity. And by dedicating time to quiet the mind and focus inward, you can gain valuable insights into your thoughts and emotions. And this awareness can create a deeper understanding of your behavioral patterns and reactions, allowing you to identify areas for growth. And as you practice mindfulness, you may start to feel and notice fleeting thoughts and feelings without judgment, creating a space where you can reflect on your experiences and choices with compassion. And meditation techniques such as breath awareness or loving kindness meditations can help you develop a greater sense of presence and connectedness, as these practices encourages you to observe how you relate to yourself and the world around you. And by creating this sense of awareness, you can become better equipped to navigate challenges and respond to situations with clarity rather than reactivity. And this can lead to you living a more authentic and happier life. And additionally, exploring sort of like practices like journaling or dream interpretation can help you understand the messages from your subconscious during Jupiter retrograde as well. And just remember that meditation plays a crucial role in connecting with your higher consciousness during Jupiter's retrograde. And by taking time to regularly meditate for the 5 months Jupiter's usually in retrograde, focusing on grounding techniques to stay rooted and balanced and quieting your mind and tuning into your inner self, you can receive guidance and clarity on your spiritual path and your overall life path as well. So take time out to research meditation techniques that suit your needs, or engage with the ones you already use on a deeper level. Also, you can explore spiritual, philosophical, or logical practices that align with the themes of abundance, patience, and self-worth, such as engaging in gratitude exercises to develop a mindset of abundance and attract more positivity into your life. Also, because we have to look at these things holistically, taking positive daily steps to, make the changes, because, thinking is one thing, but doing is another. And it's a combination of thinking and doing that lead to positive changes in our life. and by practicing patience, by meditation, especially meditating on acceptance and letting go of control over outcomes and trusting in the divine timing of the universe, and reflecting on your self-worth through affirmations and self-love rituals that nurture a sense of value from within, can really, make you feel well. Also connecting with nature, particularly grounding yourself barefoot on the earth, can increase your spiritual connection and sense of security during this time. So yeah, you can use all these practices that I mentioned to deepen your inner journey, learning to trust in the process of self-discovery and allow yourself to release old patterns that no longer serve you. And by engaging in shadow work, visualization, meditation and other spiritual enriching practices, you can navigate the energy of Jupiter retrograde with more grace, understanding and peace, and emerge stronger, more aligned with your higher consciousness. So, in conclusion, the transit of Jupiter retrograde wants us to pause and reflect and realign with our inner selves, wants us to really go deep within and self-reflect so we can gain a much deeper understanding of our values, ourselves, our relationships, and this allows us to experience a new outlook on love and relationships in general, especially the relationship we need to be having with ourselves. And it reminds us to remember that each new connection holds the potential for growth and transformation, offering you the opportunity to rewrite your story and embrace a future filled with more self-love, compassion, forgiveness, understanding, acceptance and awareness and happiness. But we just have to be mindful of the challenges, such as becoming inflexible, sticking to our comfort zone, not taking risks, fearing change, and letting self-doubt take away from the opportunities that come at this time. And the best use of this energy is to engage in practical planning, self-reflection, and allow yourself to realign with your goals and your core values. So yeah, that's the end of this very in-depth special on Jupiter retrograde. I'm Amani, your holistic karmic astrologer, and I shall see you next time.